I have the key to the new 2026 Toyota BZ. I'm going to take you for a test drive. I'm going to show you what's new. Wait, did I say that wrong, Toyota BZ? No, I did not, because guess what? Toyota changed the name. It is now the BZ. It used to be called the BZ4X. That was too much of a mouthful. It was hard to remember, so they just shortened it to BZ. I kind of like that, the Toyota BZ. So let's get BZ, see you in the Toyota BZ. The name isn't the only thing that Toyota changed for 2026, though. Now it has a longer range, 278 miles. It has more horsepower, 338 horsepower, for 375 horsepower in the Woodland Edition. We're going to take a look at that as well. And it's bigger. It has new interior. It's a little better organized, it's a little more comfortable, and it's a ton of fun to drive. We're going to take you on a test drive. I'm going to show you around the inside. I'll show you what the cargo space looks like. I'll show you the charge port, and I'll tell you what you need to know about that charge port, and I'll show you a little surprise that Toyota left inside for new BZ owners. Be sure to follow along on our social channels, subscribe to us here on YouTube. There is a link to our newsletter below so you can get all the news in your inbox every week, and when we put a video here, click on it, because if you like this thing, you're going to like this thing. The front end of the Toyota BZ is notable for its sculpted look and the daytime running light that wraps the entire front end. It actually wraps the front end and then around on the top, and then on the side you'll see the headlights. Those are also the bright lights. The front end is flat because it's an EV, so it has that very flat front face, but on the lower portion there is an air intake. On the side, as we saw with the prior BZ4X, we have black cladding over the wheel wells. It's kind of hard to see on our dark blue edition, and it can come in a body color on some other editions as well, so you have that choice. We saw it in red with the black cladding, but we also saw it in silver with body color cladding around the wheels. The wheels have that flat blade look to them. You can see the brakes through the wheels and see the brake pads, but generally they're less spoked and more flat blade for better aerodynamics. Along the lower side, you'll see lower cladding under the doors, and then on the rear, you'll see a new look as well with a very modern tail light and light bar that spans the rear. On the rear, you'll also see the BZ badge, which is blue because this is all electric, and then you'll see the BEV all-wheel drive, or battery electric vehicle all-wheel drive. That's what Toyota is calling this, a BEV instead of an EV. Then you'll see the limited edition badge there because this is the fancy one. It has all the good stuff. Inside the Toyota BZ, we see a lot of things that Toyota learned in developing the BZ, but also some things Toyota learned in developing the Prius. There's a lot of good things in here. But I'm going to start with probably my favorite, and that is the dual charging charge pads for phones. So you can charge two phones right here. I love that detail. There is a completely new gear selector here, and I'm going to show you how this works. You push this down and turn it for drive or for reverse, or just push it for neutral. If you're going to the car wash, that's what you're going to have to do. And if you're in the car wash, you're going to have to take off this hold button as well because it has auto hold. It's an EV, so you can tap this and you will have auto hold, and that means you do not have to sit with your foot on the brake when you're at a traffic light or stop sign or creeping through the after-school pickup lane. All you have to do is push your auto hold, and then you don't have to put your foot on the brake. I love that detail so much. What else do we take away from the Prius? Well, this thing. This is our driver display. It is set way back, almost where you would have a head-up display, and it gives you a really nice visual of key information that you need while you're driving without having you pull your focus a little bit closer, which essentially takes your eyes off the road. So I really like that feature a lot. And then we have a whole new multimedia system here. This has a new, faster processor and new functions, and then it also does this. Hey Toyota. There she is, there she is. So this is the voice-activated assistance, something that Toyota democratized very early on. They were one of the first ones to come out and add voice-activated assistance across the entire lineup, and now it's even better. It has more function, it works faster, and it's more responsive. I love it. I can't wait to try that one out a little bit more. You'll also see some of the basics. We still have dials here for air climate control. So as you turn up the fan speed to cool the cabin, the range drops. But as you turn the fan speed down or the temperature down, the range increases. Very clever, Toyota. There's a power button there. Not all EVs have power buttons. And then we have our air vents here and along the dashboard here. You'll notice there's some nice soft touch materials here. It's not leather. There's no leather in this car. Toyota has opted to go with the industry standard, which is leatherette. So we do have these really beautiful leatherette seats. The front seats are heated and vented, and they have nice bolstering here. The good news is the rear seats are heated in the BZ Limited Edition, which is also a really nice detail. What else do we have here? We've got steering wheel controls here. We have our paddles for regen. So this is what will allow us to have more regenerative braking, which just slows the car when you take your foot off the pedal, versus sort of creep mode, or sort of old school how cars drive when they're not electric and they just continue to roll even when you take your foot off the pedal. When you have full one pedal driving on, when you take your foot off the accelerator, the car slows dramatically, and that's how it saves energy, and that's how it replenishes some of the battery charge. So that's a pretty nice detail. This center console with the electric gear selector, and then we have electric parking brake, our hold button, eco mode, X mode that gives us all-wheel drive, and then this is our X mode selector, so we can choose between snow and mud, are all right here. Because this is all electric, there is space under here for a handbag. There's also some USB ports. This is where you're going to find your USB ports if you need to plug in a phone or a device and not use the wireless charge pad. The charge port is right here on the front corner, and you'll notice that this is a NACS style outlet. It's the same style outlet that you see at a Tesla charger. And because we have this, you can use Tesla superchargers to charge this car, or any charger essentially, because Toyota included this gift. And then there is this, and I'm excited to show you this. First of all, this armrest opens on either side, and Toyota left this in the car just for you, BZ buyer. There is a nice little gift of a charge adapter. So this will go into the car, and then if you go to a charge outlet public charger that is the J1772, so the old standard, you can use this adapter. You plug that into here, you plug this into the car, and you're good to go. I'm gonna say driving it around was pretty fun. We're gonna take you on a drive and show you what that looks like right now. So here we are out on the road. Do we get to go on the highway? We do. We have a little fast route here. So tell me what you think.
I love where the driver display is. It's nice and clear for me. Not distracting at all. Everything that I need up front. I like the placement for the steering wheel. Ooh, and it's got paddle shifters here. That's cool.
Oh, it has regen paddles. Why don't you pull that left paddle and let's see what happens. Okay. Pull it again. Oh yeah, look at that. You can really feel it.
Oh wow, it pulls.
You see an indicator. I'll show you. You'll see an indicator on the steering wheel, on the driver display, that shows the level of regenerative braking that it's regenerating.
You can pump it back up too on the right hand side.
And if you leave it, if you pull it down twice, does it stay?
Let's see.
Pull it down. Pull down one more time.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah. And just leave it on there for your drive. I'm a fan of one pedal. Okay, now release it, and as soon as you make this turn, release it. Do you like regen braking?
I do, especially where I am. Like, there's pretty much an open road, so having the one pedal driving makes it a little bit easier. Like, just enjoy my drive.
I feel like one pedal driving makes driving the most effortless thing that you can do.
Yeah.
Like, all you have to do is on the accelerator, off the accelerator, on the accelerator, off the accelerator. You don't have to
constantly
lift your foot and put it over on the brake. Who knew that was so much work? But it really is. It really does take some effort to take your foot off of the accelerator and put it over on the brake, and you get that sort of time back. It's not a lot of time, but you get a little bit of time back, which is pretty amazing. So now we're going to hop on the tollway because Natalie is going to try that instant acceleration, and I am impressed. I thought it was really good. I thought it felt good. I thought it was very responsive. They call it a throttle response. But what that essentially means is when you tap the accelerator, you go, and there's no hesitation. Until you've driven an electric car, you don't really understand what that is. And then when you drive an EV, you're like, oh, I get it. I get it. I get it. Woo! Go Natalie! So behind the wheel, what are you sensing is a little different than sort of the average drive?
Well, I noticed that this is like out of my line of sight. It's lower, which I love. I have more of this view, and I love the digital rear view mirror as well, especially when, if people are back there and maybe obstructing the view, I just flip that over. Or if there's someone like with a raised truck behind me, especially driving in an EV and I have a truck behind me, it gets in the way of your line of sight.
I like having that great visibility. I really like the driver display set far out, so it's really kind of where a head-up display might be.
Right.
And I like this large center screen. This is so light years better than the last BZ4X. Although, if you're in the market, you probably are going to get a good deal on that right now because they're phasing those out for this one. But this is really improved. I also love this panoramic sunroof, which we have closed right now. It has a fixed pane, so it doesn't open all the way, but it is the shade opens. And we've had it closed because it's 85 degrees out, 91 degrees out right now. It's very hot. And the car just has to work harder to keep the car cool, even though it's tinted and it's designed to keep the hot rays out of the car. It still is not, it's not going to keep the car cool. So we've kept the sunroof shade closed today. How does the turning and traction feel?
It has a good turning radius. I'm actually really impressed.
It can do quite tight turns. It also has X mode. We're in the limited edition, and you can get X mode, which is all-wheel drive, and that gives you mud and snow capability, traction essentially on all four wheels. So I appreciate that they did that as well. I personally think every car should have all-wheel drive because whether it's snow or mud or emergency situations, you just never know what's coming your way. And I think you need to have that capability. And now they only drive in two-wheel drive until you need the all-wheel drive. When you need the all-wheel drive kicks in. So you don't really need it all the time, and it's not necessarily using extra energy. But I think that when you need it, it's a critical thing to have, and you should have that option when you do need it. So that's my long way of saying, if you have the all-wheel drive option, you should buy that. You should buy that.
Yes.
But that's my opinion. Well, thanks for driving, Natalie.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me here. I love
really
driving
fun.
the BZ.
But this is kind of a small car. If you're wondering what the rear seat is like and how much capacity there is for families and kids in car seats, I'm going to show you. So this seat is set for me. I'm 5'8", and I have plenty of legroom. Now, normally I measure to show you how much space there is from seat back to seat back. And I don't have my measuring tape, it broke, and I'm waiting for my new one to be delivered. So I will have that in my next video, but I'm gonna just estimate, because I've learned how to do this, and I'm pretty good at it, and I'm gonna say you have at least 30 inches. Now, of course, that space is determined by how far back this seat goes, but I was very comfortable driving, and I have at least 30 inches seat back to seat back, which means you can put a rear-facing child passenger car seat behind a 5'8" driver. That's a nice detail. If you need even more space, or you have a taller driver, you can easily put it behind this seat. I'm impressed by the legroom in this car, and a lot of that has to do with the battery pack that sits underneath the cabin of the car. They call it a skateboard, and all those batteries are lined underneath the cabin. That's where they sit, and that's how they need that much space, and they create a really nice sized cabin. So I really like that. What else do you get in the rear seat? So still all the same soft touch materials and leatherette seating. We do have heated seats here. So here's our buttons for seat heating. We have 2 USB ports. We have air vents here for rear seat passengers. Very important detail. We have this, a nice little slot to put your phone or a tablet. So if you want to sit here and just charge your phone and watch what's going on, watch your TikTok, you can absolutely do that there. And we have cup holders and this nice little armrest. We do have 2 full sets of child car seat latches. There's a set here of lower anchors, and then there's the upper tethers on the back. And we have our seat belts do not cross over. So if you needed to buckle a person or a car seat into this middle seat, as long as the car seat fits, you can absolutely do that safely. So in the cargo area, we have a lot of space, and this is pretty impressive. So we have this nice little cargo cover, and they added this mat. I'm sure that that's an option, but we have this nice mat to keep everything clean. If you put your dog back here, or dirty shoes or whatever, it's nice to have this mat and be able to just clean things out. What do we have here underneath the cargo floor? Well, my, look at that, a nice little cargo space, and they include a charge cord right here. So you're able to always have a charge cord at hand if you find yourself in need of charging. And it does have that NACS style, North American Charge Standard style port, because that's what this car is equipped with. There's also a household outlet here, right there. So if you need to plug something in and use this car as an outlet to plug in something say an air mattress or a coffee maker, you can do that. So Natalie, have you ever used Auto Park before?
I've never used it, but I want to try it.
You want to try it? Okay. So what Auto Park is going to do is you're going to push the button and you're going to follow the prompts on the screen, and it is going to park the car. It'll control steering, braking, and acceleration. All you do is sit here and follow the prompts on the screen. Now I will share that it's going to park us somewhere in this large parking lot. It's a pretty wide open parking lot. You don't really need that, right?
Right.
But it's great for parallel parking. It's great for tight parking. And it's really helpful for people who have a disability, say a limited turning radius. They can't really turn their head all the way. They can't see behind them. Or maybe they have limited use of their hands and that tight steering is difficult for them to manage. This is a really great feature. So let's see how it works. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to push this button right there, that button there, and you get this prompt screen. So now press the start button, and now it tells you.
Release the brake, okay.
You're going to release the brake, and now it has identified a parking spot, and it actually shows us right here the parking spot it's going to guide us into. You can see it on the screen right there. And now it shows you that it's backing up. And here's hands-free Natalie.
Hands up. Don't anybody move except for the car.
Elbows up. And it is backing us into the parking spot. And you can even see that under car view and right on the screen. And here we are, perfectly parked in this parking lot. And this car has good taste because it parked us in the shade.
Perfect in Texas.
Thanks, Natalie.
Hey, thank you.
In addition to the BZ that we just drove is the BZ Woodland Edition. Now, the Woodland Edition is something we've seen across many Toyota models, and what that means, it is intended for overlanding, camping, light off-roading, those kinds of things. Any place where you might go off pavement, you can go in this. But that's just where the good news starts. So I will say it doesn't have quite the range that the BZ has. That has over 300 miles. This has about 260 miles of range. But what it does have is dual motor, all-wheel drive, and 375 horsepower standard. That's pretty amazing for a little guy like this. So come on, let me show you a few details on the BZ Woodlands Edition. So first of all, it has lower air intake here, and it has the new sort of signature front end with the light bar that we're seeing on a lot of Toyotas right now, and these new headlights here. But we have this cladding here over the wheels, over these all-terrain wheels, and then we have our charge port right here. It's actually quite close to the front of the car, which means because it has a NACS or a North American Charge Standard Tesla style charger, you can actually pull this up to a Tesla charger and plug it in without too much struggle, and that's going to be good news. We have lower cladding here. It's designed to protect the underbody and the paint as you're going off-road and kicking up rocks, the all-terrain tires. Back here on the rear, we have this really nice light bar. Now this is the same thing you're going to see on all of the BZ editions, and then you'll notice the BZ badge is here. Of course, they changed the name. They took off the 4X. This is just BZ. And then you'll see the BEV here, which means it's a battery electric vehicle. This is how Toyota is noting its electrics. And then it has the Woodland badge right here. We also have this nice lower cladding here and some underbody protection. So if you really are going off-roading, you are covered. A few things that are notable about the BZ Woodland, it's 6 inches longer and an inch taller. So it has more cargo capacity for camping and overlanding to bring the gear along that you need to bring with you. And it has that higher ground clearance. So you can easily get over rocks and rutted roads and things like that without too much stress. You'll also notice it has these new roof rails that are standard, and these are designed to hold your stuff. You'll have to put in crossbars, or you can actually do tie downs here really nicely because of the way that they're designed. I want to take you inside though and show you what's different on the interior of the BZ. Inside, you'll see the BZ is nicely outfitted with leatherette seats. It has these nice BZ Woodland floor mats, and notice they have a nice little texture to channel water. On the center console, there are dual wireless phone chargers. This is a new thing that we're seeing in a lot of the new electric cars from Toyota, and this is a great detail. That's something you'll see here. We have our gear selector here, surround view monitor here. I can't turn it on because the battery is dead, but we do have the new multimedia system here, and then just like the BZ, the driver display set way back. One feature that I see, and this is part of the premium package, is a digital rear view mirror here. So you can flip it for reflective or push the tab for a video view. If you have all your camping gear and a couple of people in the back seat and you're using that extra 6 inches, which is probably going to amount to probably about 10 cubic feet of space, you're using all that space, this video view camera is going to come in really handy in driving and backing up and wherever you're going on or off the road. We have a drive mode selector here, all the typical things that you see here on the steering wheel, so no real news there except for the steering wheel does look a little different than maybe some of the other steering wheels that we have seen in Toyota to date. A lot of new details, a lot of new thought in the BZ Woodland from Toyota. The BZ line is developed in conjunction with Subaru, which is known for all-wheel drive. It's also known for its new Trail Seeker edition, which is essentially an electric version of the Subaru Outback, which makes this also essentially an electric version of the Subaru Outback. It's larger, it's longer, it's taller, it has all-wheel drive, and now it's all electric. 375 horsepower to 260-mile range. Pretty good for the Toyota BZ Woodland Edition. It's been a treat today to drive around Dallas, around Plano actually, in the 2026 BZ. I have to get BZ4X out of my head. I learned that. Now I'm just going to call it BZ. I like that name, BZ. I also like the additional power. I love the NACS charge port, so you can charge at a Tesla charger. Also, the Tesla chargers are just easier to use than the larger, more cumbersome J1772 charger, which is such a catchy name, right? And I also love the longer range. So you really can go a full distance on a charge, 278 miles, maybe a little bit better if you use that regen braking. You could probably do a little bit better. This will be out in the fall. Toyota hasn't announced pricing. Who knows what that's going to look like, but they want you to buy it. You're going to want to look at it, and we can't wait to take it on a longer test drive.